Most riders think they know all the tricks. But the truth is, there are simple motorcycle hacks out there that almost nobody uses. And once you learn them, you'll wonder how you ever rode without them. These aren't gimmicks or complicated mods. They're smart, practical hacks that make riding easier, safer, and way more convenient. Whether you're a daily commuter, a weekend rider, or someone planning long road trips, these tips will save you time, prevent mistakes, and solve problems before they happen. Some of them cost a few cents, some require almost no tools, and every single one has a real-world benefit. So before your next ride, take a few minutes to learn these genius tricks. By the end, you'll walk away with shortcuts most riders never discover, and a motorcycle setup that feels smarter and more dialed in than ever. Let's get into it. Hack number 1. Crushed can kickstand puck with Velcro. Parking a motorcycle seems simple until you find yourself on soft dirt, loose gravel, or hot asphalt. In those conditions, your kickstand can slowly sink, shifting the bike's weight until it tips over. It doesn't take much. Just a few millimeters of movement and gravity does the rest. A fall like that can mean scratched paint, bent levers, broken mirrors, and a ruined day. The solution is surprisingly simple. Create a portable kickstand puck you'll never forget or lose. Instead of buying one, all you need is a flat aluminum can, or any small, sturdy, flat object, and a strip of self-adhesive Velcro. Crush or flatten the can so it's wide enough to distribute the kickstand's weight. Then stick the rough side of the Velcro to the underside of your motorcycle seat or frame area, where it fits securely. Attach the softer Velcro side to your puck. Now you've made a support pad that stays with the bike, isn't bulky, and is always ready when you need it. Whenever you park on unstable ground, just grab the puck, place it under the kickstand, and the bike will remain stable. The wide surface spreads the load, preventing the stand from sinking, even on hot pavement where asphalt softens. For extra convenience, attach a short cord or ribbon to the puck. That way, you don't have to crouch or reach awkwardly under the foot peg to pick it back up. Just pull the cord and store it again under the seat. This tiny upgrade costs almost nothing, requires no tools, and solves one of the most common causes of parking lot motorcycle damage. It's simple, effective, and once you've done it, you'll wonder why every bike doesn't come with one from the factory. Hack number 2. Valve stem cap with a built-in core tool. Something as small as a tire valve, cap doesn't seem important until you need it. Most riders treat valve caps as nothing more than dust covers, but swapping yours for a version with a built-in core removal tool is one of those tiny upgrades that pays off the moment something goes wrong. A valve stem core tool cap looks almost identical to a normal cap, except for one detail. The top has a small metal or plastic slot shaped to loosen or tighten the valve core inside the stem. Why does that matter? Because if you ever need to adjust tire pressure quickly, repair a puncture, replace an inner tube, or use a plug kit on the roadside, removing the core allows air to move much faster. That means faster deflation when airing down and easier inflation when installing or reseating a tube or bead. For motorcycles that run inner tubes, common on adventure bikes, dirt bikes, and older models, this tool can save huge amounts of time. Pulling a core with a proper tool also reduces the risk of damaging threads or bending the valve stem by using improvised tools like pliers or keys. Even tubeless riders benefit. If you ever need to patch a puncture with a plug kit at the roadside, removing the core first makes using compact CO2 cartridges or a mini pump far more efficient. The tire fills faster, the bead seats more cleanly, and the process takes less effort. These tool caps cost only a few dollars and weigh almost nothing. Yet the day you need one, whether in your garage or on a lonely back road, you'll be glad it's already sitting on your wheel, ready to go. A tiny upgrade, invisible until the exact moment it matters. That's what makes it a genius hack. Hack number 3. Pocket-size screwdriver hack. Tools are essential for motorcycle ownership, but carrying a full toolkit everywhere isn't practical. Space is limited, weight matters, and most riders don't want bulky gear rattling around under the seat. That's where this simple, compact screwdriver hack becomes incredibly useful. It gives you real functionality in a tiny form factor that fits almost anywhere. Your pocket, a saddlebag, or even a small storage compartment on the bike. To make it, all you need is a short bolt, a matching nut, 2 small washers, and the screwdriver bits your motorcycle uses most, usually Phillips, flathead, and sometimes Torx or hex, depending on your bike. Slide 1 washer onto the bolt, then stack the bits onto the bolt so they sit neatly in line. Add the second washer, and then tighten the nut so the bits are sandwiched securely between both washers. When tightened correctly, one bit sticks out just enough to function as the active screwdriver tip, while the remaining bits store safely underneath. Using it is simple. If you need a different bit, loosen the nut just enough to rotate or swap the bit you need, tighten it again, and continue the repair or adjustment. Despite its small size, the bolt gives you enough grip to apply steady torque, making it surprisingly effective for quick roadside fixes or minor adjustments. Because the tool is modular, you can customize it to your specific motorcycle. If your bike relies heavily on hex fasteners, use hex bits. If most screws are Phillips, prioritize those. It's adaptable, compact, and intentionally minimal. This hack doesn't replace a full wrench set or tool roll, but it gives you just enough functionality to tighten mirrors, adjust controls, secure loose plastics, or solve small problems that would otherwise cut a ride short. Hack number 4. Magnetic tank note or root holder. Modern riders rely on GPS, but there are still moments where a simple written reminder is faster, safer, and more practical. Maybe you need fuel mileage notes, a quick turn sequence, a gate code, or directions where service is spotty. Instead of stuffing paper into a pocket or taping notes to the bike, a smarter and cleaner solution is a magnetic tank note holder. If your motorcycle has a metal gas tank, this hack works perfectly. All you need are 2 flat magnets, ideally thin neodymium or rubber-coated magnets so they don't scratch your tank. Stick one magnet under a small piece of paper or index card, place the second magnet on top, and the note stays securely in place even at highway speeds. Because the magnets are flat and low profile, they don't interfere with riding or body position. This setup has a few advantages. First, the note is always visible when you glance down. Not distracting, just available when needed. Second, you can swap notes instantly without leaving residue the way tape or stickers would. Third, the magnets can hold multiple layers, so you can store extra paper for later use. Some riders take this a step further by using a small laminated card. They write on it with a washable marker, then wipe and reuse it. It's especially helpful on long trips, group rides, or navigation that includes checkpoints or fuel stops. Even if you use GPS, having a backup note can prevent confusion when devices lag, lose signal, or overheat in the sun. It also avoids having to pull over or take off gloves just to check something simple. This hack is silent, clean, reusable, and stays out of the way until you need it. It's one of those small upgrades that instantly makes your motorcycle feel more organized and travel-ready. Hack number 5. Disposable glove rain liner trick. Weather can change quickly when you ride, and getting caught in cold rain without proper waterproof gloves is more than just uncomfortable. It can affect your control, reaction time, and overall safety. Wet hands get cold fast, and once your fingers stiffen, shifting, braking, and throttle input become noticeably harder. Fortunately, there's a simple hack that solves this problem using something inexpensive, lightweight, and easy to store. Disposable gloves. Keeping a pair of latex or nitrile gloves tucked under your seat or in your jacket pocket gives you an instant waterproof barrier when weather turns bad unexpectedly. When rain hits, just slip the disposable gloves on underneath your regular riding gloves. The rubber layer keeps rain from soaking into your skin, blocks wind from chilling your hands, and helps retain heat inside your main gloves. Even if your outer gloves get wet, your hands stay dry and functional. This trick isn't just for rain. Cold mornings, high-altitude rides, and windy conditions can also make your hands go numb. The disposable gloves act as a simple vapor and heat barrier, improving insulation without requiring bulky winter gloves. Because they're thin, they don't affect grip feel or throttle sensitivity. If you don't have disposable gloves available, another variation is using rubber dishwashing gloves over the outside of your riding gloves. They're not stylish, but they're surprisingly effective in harsh weather and keep your gloves dry until you can reach shelter or proper gear. For something that weighs almost nothing and costs just a few cents, the usefulness is huge. It's the kind of hack you might forget about until the exact moment you need it. Then it becomes one of the smartest, most practical things you ever packed. Hack number 6. DIY Visor Sun Strip Tape Trick. Sun glare is one of the most dangerous and overlooked hazards motorcyclists face on the road. Early morning and late afternoon rides often put the sun directly at eye level, and even a clean visor can scatter light enough to momentarily blind you. That split second of lost visibility is all it takes to miss a pothole, overlook a car turning left, or drift too close to the shoulder. Luckily, there's a simple and inexpensive solution that works on any helmet: the Sun Strip Tape Hack. All you need is a strip of black electrical tape or matte black vinyl. Open your helmet visor and apply the strip along the top edge of the inside surface, just high enough that it sits outside your normal field of view. Once the visor closes, the strip becomes a small sunshade, similar to the visor in a car. When bright sunlight hits your line of sight, you can simply tilt your head slightly downward, and the strip blocks the direct glare without limiting your forward view of the road. One advantage of this hack is how subtle and customizable it is. You can adjust the thickness of the tape based on your riding posture, helmet style, or personal comfort. Adventure helmets, sport helmets, and touring helmets all benefit equally. If you ride often in open sunlight or long stretches of highway, you can even double layer the tape for stronger shading. Unlike tinted visors, this trick doesn't limit visibility at dusk or night. And unlike drop-down internal sun visors, there are no moving parts. Best of all, it's reversible. If you don't want it anymore, just peel it off. This quick fix can dramatically reduce eye strain and make riding in low sun conditions safer, clearer, and more comfortable. Hack number 7. Inner Tube Strap Hack. Motorcycles don't always come with convenient tie-down points or storage solutions, and carrying extra cargo straps can take up more space than most riders want to sacrifice. That's where this clever hack comes in, turning an old inner tube into one of the most useful, compact, and versatile fastening systems you can carry. Instead of throwing away a worn or punctured tire tube, cut it into evenly sized strips. These rubber bands are incredibly durable, stretchable, and resistant to weather and abrasion. They grip surfaces firmly without slipping, and because they're soft, they won't scratch paint, rub through plastics, or damage powder-coated racks and handlebars. These homemade straps excel at securing loose tools, bundling cables, attaching small accessories, or strapping emergency gear to the frame. Riders use them to mount flashlights, emergency pumps, tire spoons, spare bottles, or even small first aid kits. Since they generate friction when stretched, the straps stay tight and don't rattle loose over rough roads or vibrations. They also work as temporary replacements for broken straps, failed bungee cords, or missing luggage loops. If a cable comes loose, a fairing panel vibrates, or something shifts unexpectedly mid-ride, One of these straps can secure it long enough to get you home safely. They're also reusable. If one gets worn or stretched out, just cut another strip from the tube. Best of all, these straps pack incredibly small. You can roll up 10 or more and store them under your seat without taking up meaningful space or adding noticeable weight. For something that costs nothing, takes minutes to make, and solves multiple problems, it's a surprisingly effective piece of kit. Once you start using inner tube straps, you'll find yourself relying on them more than expected and wondering why this isn't common knowledge among riders. Hack number 8. Compact emergency hose and wire kit. Breakdowns don't always come from major failures. Sometimes it's something small, like a loose wire, a broken clamp, or a torn hose that stops the ride. That's why having a compact emergency kit hidden on the bike can make all the difference. Instead of carrying a full toolbox or bulky repair kit, you can build a small, multi-purpose repair bundle that fits almost anywhere and weighs next to nothing. Start with a short length of rubber hose, something that's just large enough to hold a few items inside. Then fill the hose with a couple of essentials: a piece of electrical wire, a stiff metal wire for structural repairs, a few zip ties, and a small amount of electrical tape. Once everything is inside, wrap the outside tightly with additional tape. The end result is a compact, durable repair kit about the size of a marker or short pen. Each component has a purpose. The stiff wire can temporarily support loose parts or act as a clamp if something separates. The electrical wire can reconnect a broken circuit or replace a torn connector in an emergency. Zip ties can secure anything from body panels to luggage straps, and electrical tape can insulate wiring, seal minor leaks, or stop rattling parts. The hose itself is also part of the kit. If a vacuum line, breather hose, or fuel overflow tube cracks or splits, the spare hose can serve as a temporary replacement. This small kit takes just a few minutes to assemble and can live permanently under your seat or in a side panel. Most riders will forget they even have it, until the moment something goes wrong. And when that day comes, this little bundle may be the difference between riding home and pushing the bike miles to help. Hack number 9. DIY helmet security cable. A helmet is one of the most important and expensive pieces of riding gear, but surprisingly, most bikes don't include an easy or secure way to lock one to the motorcycle. Leaving your helmet on the mirror or handlebar may feel convenient, but it also makes it a target for theft or accidental drops. Carrying a dedicated helmet lock works, but it adds weight and takes up space. Luckily, you can solve the problem with a simple DIY security cable that's lightweight, compact, and always available when you need it. To make one, start with a short length of thin vinyl-coated steel cable, which you can find at any hardware store. The coating prevents scratching the helmet or your motorcycle. Cut the cable to a length that's long enough to pass through your helmet's chin bar or D-ring and loop around a solid part of the frame or rack, but still short enough to pack away neatly. Next, use 2 metal crimp sleeves to secure a loop at each end of the cable. Once crimped, the loops form built-in anchor points. Using it is simple. Thread one loop through your helmet's strap or chin bar, then lock both loops together with a small padlock or attach them to a locking latch under the seat if your motorcycle has one. The helmet is now secured, and you're free to walk away without carrying it everywhere you go. This hack doesn't make the helmet invincible. No cable or lock can stop a determined thief. But it prevents casual grab-and-go theft, which is the most common type. It also stops the helmet from falling or blowing off the bike in strong wind. It's cheap, takes minutes to build, packs small, and saves frustration, making it one of the smartest convenience upgrades you can add to your riding setup. Hack number 10. Rubber O-ring throttle lock. Long highway rides can be tiring, and one of the first places fatigue shows up is in your throttle hand. Holding a steady throttle position for miles at a time may not seem like a strain at first, but over time the constant tension can make your wrist and fingers cramp. High-end cruise control systems fix this But most motorcycles, especially older models, standards, and dual sports, don't come with one. That's where the simple rubber O-ring throttle lock hack shines. All you need is a thick, durable O-ring that fits snugly around the end of your throttle grip and bar end weight. Some riders use a specific size, known as a caterpillar O-ring, commonly used on tractors, but any strong rubber ring of similar dimensions will work. Slide the O-ring onto your throttle grip and leave it parked there when not in use. When you reach a steady cruising speed, simply roll the O-ring into the small gap between the grip and the bar end. The ring creates just enough friction to hold the throttle open, so you don't have to maintain constant pressure. It's not a full cruise control system. You can override it instantly just by twisting the throttle closed, which keeps it safe and responsive. When you no longer need it, roll the O-ring back off the gap and onto the grip, where it stays out of the way until the next long ride. It takes seconds to activate or deactivate and requires no tools, installation, or permanent modification. Used responsibly, this hack can make highway travel far more comfortable and reduce fatigue on extended rides. It's one of the simplest, cheapest, and most effective riding comfort upgrades available, and once you try it, it's hard to ride long distances without it. And there you have it, 10 simple hacks that make riding easier, more comfortable, and surprisingly more practical. None of these require expensive upgrades or special tools, but once you start using them, your motorcycle setup will feel smarter and more dialed in than ever. Try one, try all of them, and make your bike work better for you every time you ride. Thanks for watching, and if you want more tips like this, don't forget to stick around for the next video. Ride safe